The last couple years, real estate's all been about how fast can we get it written up. There's not been a lot of the advice that's needed, a lot of the experience is not needed. It was crazy times. We're going back to a period of time in which it really matters whom represents you, whom represents your best interests. It matters on the price you'll pay, the neighborhood you'll choose to live in, and ultimately whether or not you'll regret your decision 5 years, 10 years down the road. Our clients are probably the best testimonial we have, and here's one of their stories.
Hello, my name's Kevin.
I'm Toby, and this is our real estate story.
There's always seasons of life that are changing, and we found ourselves in a new one we hadn't really gone into before.
We had 5 kids at the time, our 3 boys, and our niece and nephew, which we had for 3 years. And so our season was just so different.
5 kiddos in the house, and we were a little bit tight on closet space and space for dirty clothes to sit. So basically our house was covered in kid stuff. We've moved a few times in the past, and when we started to look, we feel like we're professional lookers. So it started on, the typical websites, just Googling what's out there. But then it really came down to it's probably time to get connected with a realtor and go look at some of these and take it a little more seriously. And so I went on to West Real Estate Group's website and put in some of the search criteria, and it didn't take, I think, 2 or 3 minutes, I believe. It was so fast. I got a text, and that was reaching out to me after I filled out a form saying, hey, can I get a little more detail? And it was a person that wanted to ask me what I was looking for and build a report that would send me daily updates.
Yeah, and that led us to be able to go and look at places that fit that criteria. Anytime we'd find something that we were interested in, we could either email them or text them, and they were very responsive. They would send us the information about the house before we even go to look at it.
Yeah, like HOA information, if there was extra fees that might be in that area. They knew a lot about a lot of neighborhoods and areas around town, just like people they have known that bought in there and have said good things, or if there was public amenities or a pool. They were very on top of just sharing more detail before we went and looked to make sure it was actually what our family was wanting. So as I mentioned earlier, seasons of life change, and we found ourselves in another season of change, and our search criteria needed to change.
Yeah, we went from having 5 kids to my niece and nephew going back to their dad, and so we went back down to 3 kids. So we really didn't need as much space as we thought we did, and we just knew that it was going to change some things.
So first of all, I feel like a realtor has a hard job in the first place, right? They're really doing their best to find the perfect place, but sometimes that perfect place doesn't exist yet, or it's not on the market. And so as new things hit the market, you move really quickly. So when our search criteria changed, it initially made me feel bad about now the realtor has to restart with us. They were so gracious. It was believe it or not, the website allows you to change your own search criteria, I found out, but they did it for me and taught me how to do that if anything were to happen in the future, and made it to where it wasn't such a burden on them. It was more about them being really helpful and helping us get what we truly wanted.
I mean, it's hard enough to have all the criteria kind of change and not really know which direction we were heading, but to have just the support and the love along the journey was amazing.
Yeah, occasionally it was even a text with, hey, I know of something coming on the market soon. If you want to get a sneak peek, we're happy to get you in. And it was pretty cool to have kind of an experience with an insider. It felt like where we did see some stuff before it hit the market, so that we wouldn't be in that competitive space of multiple offers like we had been in the past. It was one of those journeys, I guess, that we didn't have to be the expert. We didn't have to know anything. We walked into it and felt like we had somebody that was truly on our side, helping us both on the buying and the selling end. At different points throughout the journey, we actually met with, I want to say, at least 5 different people. So they really work as a team like I've never seen before. Meeting us at odd hours sometimes, sending emails and texts and phone calls from the entire team.
Yeah, and short notice too was that happened a few times. Hey, can we go look at this house really quick? And the team just jumped in together and worked together, and we're very grateful. And there was no pressure to push us to do something that we weren't ready for. They really waited on our timing. They cared a lot about where we were and when we were ready to move.
And then we found the one we were looking for, and it wasn't on the market yet. It happened to be an open house next door to one we were looking at. and it was the perfect fit for our family.
And now we're in our home.
This new home has been incredible for us. Getting warmed up into the new neighborhood, new neighbors. The kids have already made some friends.
Yeah, it's close to all our friends and family also, which has been an extra bonus to be able to have like family just pop in whenever.
Yeah, now with me working from home, I have an actual office space that is bright and roomy. So I just enjoy having the place for the kids. We love having the backyard and a little bit more space for dogs. Our whole life, it seems to revolve around our location, and this house is right in the center of all of it. The funny thing is we already know our seasons will change again as our kids get older and are moving out, and we already know what we think we want then, a house in the mountains perhaps, and so when that season comes, we'll definitely reach out to W Ustick Rd and keep an eye on the same things we've done in the past, but a whole different season, and go through the process once again.
So what's your story? At W Ustick Rd, that's the question we love to ask. Everyone has a real estate license these days. What matters most is a trusted guide who has the experience to help guide you through your own story. If you find yourself in a position to buy or sell a home, we'd love to learn more about your story, learn more about your goals and your vision so we can turn that into a reality.